Have you ever seen a guy so angry and upset that he punches a hole in the wall? Or screaming and yelling so much that nothing anyone says can calm him down? Or have you ever been in that state where you're just so out of control that you hear yourself saying and doing things that you know you're going to regret, that you wish you could take back, but for some reason you just can't stop yourself? When you lose control like that, nothing good happens. You can ruin relationships, you can lose your job, you can end up in jail or worse, just like that, in an instant. Even if no one's hurt in the moment, it shatters your trust. People don't know what to expect from you anymore. They don't feel good being around you. They're always on edge. They're always anxious and stressed out just because you're there, because they know you could blow up at any time. People just don't look at you the same after they've seen you blow up like that. And unfortunately, we see it way too often today. But out of control isn't always just these big outbursts of rage. A lot of men feel so alone and depressed and anxious and stressed that they feel that same level of completely out of control, but it prevents them from doing anything at all. And they're just alone and isolated. There's good news. It doesn't have to be this way. You can gain control over yourself. You can calm your racing thoughts and stop them before this terrifying explosion of anger takes over. What you need to learn is called emotional intelligence, and it's a core skill of every successful man. So what is emotional intelligence? First off, it's self-awareness and self-regulation. It teaches you to recognize your emotional triggers, your patterns, and stop them before they get out of control. Men who learn these skills are better communicators. They're better at establishing boundaries in both their personal and business lives. Studies have shown that men who have better emotional intelligence are better decision makers. They understand where their emotions are coming in, and they know how to make their decisions without letting their emotions interfere. Men who don't understand emotional intelligence don't recognize when they're making an emotional decision. They think they're being logical and reasonable, but they're not. Most importantly, men who have good foundation in emotional intelligence are more resilient. When they're faced with life challenges, failures, mistakes, setbacks, they know how to handle them and they don't spiral out of control. Men with a solid foundation in emotional intelligence are more resilient. They're better under pressure. They're able to handle challenges and mistakes and failures with grace and come back stronger. How do you begin to develop emotional intelligence? I always recommend that men begin with becoming more self-aware. I recommend either journaling or mindfulness practice, or just simply taking moments throughout the day to stop and pay attention to your inner talk, the emotions you're feeling, and name them. Figure out what it is. Is this anger or is it just frustration? Really take a moment to stop and think and recognize what you're feeling. When your emotions begin to get high, another really important thing is knowing, once you recognize what that emotion is, how to handle it. Practice some stress management techniques. Like, again, mindfulness is fantastic. Taking a walk, learning some breathing exercises. Navy SEALs learn breathing exercises to calm themselves under stress. Now, if you think emotional intelligence isn't part of being a masculine man, think again. Who can you possibly think of that's more masculine than a Navy SEAL? And yet they learn mindfulness and self-regulation as part of their training, so they're more effective under combat. And what's the biggest stressor that there possibly be in life? Combat. So if it works for those guys in those situations, it'll definitely work for you in your day-to-day life. Another key feature of emotional intelligence is communication skills. A lot of times when we're having conversations, things get heated, we begin to get defensive, we stop listening to the other person, we start looking for our opportunity to talk instead, thinking about what we're going to say before they even finish talking, when in fact we're not hearing what they're saying and we're letting our emotions get the best of us. When if we can put ourselves in their shoes and think about what they're saying, then we might realize that they're not attacking us. They're trying to find a solution to a problem. Often we jump to conclusions and become very emotional because we're not really listening to the other person. By learning how to be a good listener, we actually help regulate our own emotions better. I struggled with these issues myself for years. It hurt my relationships, it cost me jobs, it damaged my relationship with my son, and it hurt my career. That's why I've made it my mission to help other men, to shorten your journey, to help you have better relationships, more successful careers, and a better life overall that's more meaningful and more fulfilling for you personally. Now, if this sounds like something you're interested in, there's a link down below where you can schedule a free one-on-one consultation with me to see if working with me as a coach would be helpful for you. It's not for everybody. Not everybody's ready to take this step, and not everybody's a good fit for my particular programs. But it doesn't hurt to take a free consultation, so click the link below, and I'll talk to you soon.